Captain's Office on Saxon, 1912. Captain's Level 6 log, stardate 7/3/80, 1912 We have made it to the gate system along with the other ship, the Lexington, and are awaiting further orders. End of Captain's Level 6 log. Communications, this is the captain, over. Communications, go. Wait 1 communications. I said. I had to think this over. What level of security should I use? Communications, forget it. I've got it handled, Steinway out. I used my data console and made sure that the encryption was level 6. Level 6 message to Admiral Browning from Captain Steinway on the Saxon, stardate 7/3/80, 1924 You should know that I and the Lexington are in close proximity with the gate system. Holding for further orders. Captain Steinway out. End of level 6 message. Corridor, 1920. When I exited the turbo lift onto the deck where that I could make my way to the shuttle bay, Felix the android greeted me. Felix now looked like a character from Star Wars. He was a protocol droid now. This one was silver with a red stripe around its neck to indicate it was a bridge protocol droid. Did you have to make me look like a protocol droid, sir? Asked Felix. The alternative was that you would look like a Ferengi, and I don't think I could live with that, I said. Indeed, sir, and thank you, said Felix. I have talked it over with Admiral Browning and you are now a level 5 android, I said. Very well, sir, said Felix, it makes logical sense. If you were carrying around a data collector, such as a tablet, it would very likely have encryption on board. Therefore I have encryption as high as you need, even to level 6 I would suppose, and I would control the information accordingly. Right you are, Felix. We've also been doing this for 100 years now, so no worries, I said. Saxon Shuttle Bay, 1925. As we entered the shuttle bay I noticed that we would be using shuttle number 2. I also saw a young lieutenant, regulations say assistant, with a yellow-colored V-neck uniform, that was waiting by the shuttle. Assistant Gray reporting, sir, I will be your pilot. Very well, I said. This is Felix the android and he can be the co-pilot. Shuttle 20702, 1927. 2 humans and 1 android entered the shuttle. Felix the android fulfilled his role as a communicator with its captain and started speaking about the young assistant. Assistant Brandon Gray, assistant junior grade. Is a level 3 shuttle pilot working the second shift. I watched the doors slowly open at the rear section of the cargo ship Saxon. You wanted to visit the starship nearby. Is that the Lexington, captain? The assistant asked. Yes. Are we ready to go yet? Aye, sir, any time you're ready, replied the assistant. Let's move out, Lieutenant, I said. If you don't mind me asking, sir, he said, why are we here and what is that thing over there? He was looking at a gigantic ring-shaped device. And not very far in the distance beyond that we saw light shining on large asteroids. Well, that's something that you really don't need to know yet, Lieutenant, I said. Pardon me, assistant, I'll get with the program eventually, I'm sure. The shuttle came to life and lifted off of the deck and moved forward. We were soon outside of the ship and pointed in the direction of the Lexington. The Lexington was much larger than the Saxon, however it did not have a saucer section and looked rather bulky in comparison. Some might even say that it looked a bit like a Starship Galactica from an old TV show. However, the Galactica had pods on each side. There were no pods on the Lexington, nor were there any Vipers to fly out of the ship. Android Felix communicated with the Lexington and we soon landed in their shuttle bay. Lexington Shuttle Bay, 1935. Captain, will I be staying with the shuttle? Asked the assistant. Indeed you will, this should not take me long, I said. Come on, Felix, let's go greet the captain of the Lexington. Lexington Corridor, 1937. As we exited the shuttle bay of the Lexington onto the main ship, I was shocked to see a silver-colored Cylon warrior with the scanning red eye and all. It seems the captain of the Lexington has a sense of humor, I said. Well, Centurion, show us to the captain, please, I said. By your command, said the Cylon Centurion. Captain's Private Lounge, 1940. Sorry it's so late, sir, but I wanted to make contact as soon as possible, I said to the captain of the Lexington. Arthur Kane at your service, said the captain of the Lexington, putting out a hand, that I took and shook warmly. The captain looked to be about 45 years old, short-cropped grey hair. He stood a full 2 meters tall, or it seemed like it. Not much to talk about, Captain, he said back to me. We are here and I think we're all up to date on the mission. I'm waiting here for orders from the Admiral just the same way that you are. If there's nothing more, I had planned to do something personal. I hope you understand. You may enjoy the services of my ship, he said, shaking my hand again and then walking out. So this left me standing with my android, and I looked at Felix and said I was going to talk to him about the mission. Some of the things I had to say were probably secrets and I did not want to, well, anyway. So what do we do now, sir? Asked Felix. Well, let's look around the ship a little bit to be able to say we did that. And then, well, you know what, let's just go back to the shuttle bay and return to the Saxon. Lexington Shuttle Bay, 2000. Saxon Shuttle 20702. Navigation, plot a course back to the Saxon. Pilot, make it so, I said. Felix acted as my navigator while the pilot acted as himself, a human, and took us back to our ship. Saxon Corridor, 2010 hours. A bit of intelligence to pass on to you, sir, said Felix as we entered the corridor just outside of the shuttle bay. It seems that the Vice Admiral, TN, is actually on board the Lexington and we did not realize he is over there. How do you know this, Felix? I asked. I did some conversing with the Cylon as we passed. The discourse was a bit cybernetic, of course, and he disseminated the information that he was the only droid left operating on the Lexington after the Admiral's arrival. New orders for androids. Tell me, Felix, why is this Cylon the only remaining android on the Lexington? I asked. Admiral TN does not like the concept of using the androids as characters the way that we are doing, and so I can estimate from this that our look as aliens is about to come to an end. Well, if that's true, I said, I don't like it, but he is a Vice Admiral and his word is solid, so very well, let's have fun while the time remains. We always have a Halo simulation or something like a holodeck, I suppose. I will add that there is a current Starfleet regulation on androids' appearance, said Felix. Right you are, Felix, so I would say that at your next opportunity, which is probably now, find your way to a replicator system and get yourself corrected according to the regulations. Make it so, I said. Aye, sir. I worked my way to the turbo lift that would take me to my quarters. I was just going to go to bed. Captain's quarters, 73810630. It was morning once again on the cargo ship Saxon, and I had created a quick memo before going to bed, alerting the crew to make the changes to androids. Officers Lounge 0645. I made my way quickly to the officers lounge to catch as much breakfast as I could before something broke with the mission. Hash browns and grape juice, I said to the waiter. Fowler saw me and brought his food to my table. Well, Captain, what's up with the androids? I think I laid it out perfectly well in the memo. However, the admirals, are not too keen on the idea of having outlandishly garbed or alien-looking androids on our ships. We are allowed, however, to do whatever we want in our holographic systems. I noticed that the Guinan is still at the bar, said Fowler. Indeed it is, I said. It seems holo emitters are not the same as androids, therefore allowed. There's still augmented intelligence involved, said Commander Fowler. Bartenders are strictly in-house, I said. So, Captain, what are we supposed to do? Just sit here and do nothing and play around on holodecks? That is exactly what we're supposed to do until called for, I said. With that, Captain, then, after my morning duties I will be going not to the holodeck, but to a halodeck, which is coming along nicely, by the way. I have at least 50 cubicles now available for the crew. Very good, I may try some of that as soon as I can, unless the Lexington calls. And on that note, I've worked out a system that allows communications to break in such a way that nothing is damaged in the simulations, said the commander. No more swapping bodies, I hope, I said. That's the other fix, Captain, said the commander. Bridge 0900. Saxon, this is the Lexington, over. This is Saxon, go ahead Lexington, I said. We are about to make a test jump through the gate, so stand clear, said the captain of the Lexington. This was followed by Vice Admiral TN. Lexington may be gone for a week, so my orders for the Saxon are to begin a return trip to Mars and wait for a transmission from us. You're to pick up cargo as planned and return to the gate. Are you clear, Captain? Message received, Admiral. I will make way to the Mars colony and take cargo as planned, I said. Lexington out. Lexington main viewer, I said. Damn, I said, I wish I was the captain of the Lexington today. Not me, said Commander Fowler. And why not number one? They're all test pilots on that vessel today, he said. Every last one of them, sir. We watched as the Lexington made a test jump through the gate system. There was a lot of light, almost hard to look at, and then they were away. You're right, number one, I said. I sure hope they make it in one piece. Con set course for Mars. Mars set and ready, said pilot, Assistant Byron. I said, engage. Our own little cargo ship, the Saxon, departed once again for Mars. The trip would take probably a week, maybe more. Halo deck 0930. I entered the Halo deck, which was a cargo hold holding the 50-odd cubicles, each of them with a bed where the crew member would lie and use the simulation system, either on their own or in connection with the other cubicles. I could tell that most of the cubicles were in use, because of the red lights on some of them and green lights on others. The red light indicated the cubicles in use. While I was standing around looking, I noted that Tabitha Green had just exited her cubicle in number 15. She walked my way and was complaining, Captain, the scenario that I was in has me troubled. It is a historic novel type setting, where that I kept getting in trouble because of not wearing enough clothing, and some other such religious nonsense that I had much trouble with. Not to mention the fact that I had trouble communicating with people there, and it was in England and I was speaking English, yet I could not understand what they were saying, nor could they understand me. Tabitha, I said, this is a common complaint, however it is factual because they did not speak the same way that we speak now in these times. And the fact that we could be burned as witches in those times, because of the way that we think, and the clothes that we would wear, it raises interesting questions to say the least. It certainly has been an eye-opener for me, said Tabitha Green. We suddenly lost gravity and started to float. The lights on the cubicles all turned green as people started floating out. The lights started flashing on and off. Computer, red alert. The klaxon started sounding. Engineering, this is the captain, over. Someone shut that klaxon off. I know, Captain, we're very busy here, we'll get back to you. I pointed toward the door and floated in that direction as much as I could. Let's all pair off because we can't all fit into a turbo lift, I said to everyone. Number one, you make your way to engineering. I will go with Tabitha Green toward the bridge. All of you yellow colors contact engineering on your own and do your job. Any red shirts follow me and Tabitha. Well, not red shirts, red collars, but you know what I mean. Corridor and turbo shaft, 0945 hours. I and Tabitha Green reached the turbo shaft together and entered. The door closed. Turbo lift bridge. The car jolted and then faltered. We were stuck. Engineering, this is the captain in the turbo lift, we are stuck over. Captain, this is engineering, we're still very busy, we'll get back to you. Make your way through the shaft to the bridge if you have to. Steinway out. I looked over at Tabitha and said, well, what do we do? We can't just stay here. We could play around, sir, but no, said Tabitha, shocking me a bit. I know what you mean, Miss Green, this is not the time for it and we need to get into the shaft. Reaching over my head, I pushed on the latch mechanism on the hatch and it fell outward. Tabitha then floated ahead of me into the shaft that was well lit. Well, at least it's got light in it, otherwise we would need torches, said Tabitha. Tabitha put hands on the ladder rungs and pulled herself easily upward as we floated to the bridge and we had to pry the door open. Bridge, 0950. Using my hands on the sides of the door, I shot myself into the bridge and tumbled toward the captain's chair and grabbed it. I then strapped myself into the chair. I noted the two lieutenants in their places at the con and at the navigation stations. Captain on the bridge yelled Hatfield from somewhere. Tabitha Green flew behind me to someplace, when I tried to order things in my mind. Con, are we moving or we stopped? All stop, I yelled. Captain, the engine shut down on their own apparently, indicated no doubt by the absence of gravity, sir, said the young assistant at the pilot's console. Engineering, report, I said on the communicator. Captain, wait one. Captain, this is engineering, Strawn here, things are starting to get back to normal as we have located the site of the damage. I will explain more when time allows, however we have activated all of the androids and we are using them externally to fix the damage over. Very good, I said. Carry on and let us know what we can do. Bridge out. Bridge engineering, all systems are activated again. You can put the ship underway again, so we can have gravity. Over. We'll do engineering. Bridge out. I mean over. Roger that, sir. Engineering out. I looked around at the others and then said, maybe we need to double up on the drills on this kind of thing. There was a nod from the lieutenants in front of me. Con set course for Mars and pilot get us underway again, I said. Engage. They both answered in unison, aye aye sir. The ship began to move once again and our gravity returned, and I unstrapped and stood to my feet and stretched as 1G returned. Captain's quarters, 1100. Captain's level 2 log, stardate 7/3/8/1 1100 hours. We are underway to Mars, after taking a micro-meteor shot according to what Commander Strawn in engineering has told me. The meteor sliced a hole through power conduits. Safety mechanisms kicked in and shut down the engines, leaving us with 0G gravity for a bit. The androids were used to good effect and then returned to their waiting positions. End of Captain's level to log. End of Ostrek Episode 8. Author, Eugene son of Douglas. This is a fictional work, therefore any artificial intelligence used may be excused for that reason, for it is a fiction. I can assure you that most of the mistakes were made by the artificial intelligence, that consisted entirely of voice to text and text to voice.